What's up, guys? Goat Rodeo Gaming here with another video. Today we're back with Train Simulator 2022. If you didn't already see, I did a review on if the physics are realistic or not on this game, so go check that out. Today we're running up the coast from San Diego to Commerce, California. I have been on the coaster a few times from Oceanside down to here at San Diego, so I'm kind of familiar with the route a little bit, but just wanted to play for fun today. Really like this route in real life. It was definitely a route I wish I could have done while I was on the railroad. If you guys didn't already know, former UP conductor, and I've just been reviewing these games and kind of playing them for fun just to see what they're like and to give you guys some feedback. So without further ado, we are on a BNSF manifest coming out of San Diego, and we are at the station as we speak. We got a pretty long train as we're hanging way back, clear to Petco Park pretty much. Nice of them to start us fouling on the switch right here. What that means is that you'll get sideswiped by certain cars. Typically you'd want to be back around here at least. So I'd say that's a little bit of a red flag. Today we got a 7,200 ton train. I wanted to build a pretty heavy train, so this is custom that I built, and I think it's about 6,800 feet, so it's a decent sized train for today's standards. So first things first, turn these lights on, put it in reverse, throttle up one. This horn likes to get stuck on. I'm not sure why, but it kind of sucks. Smooth start to the trip. Alright, here we go. Do 2 honks as we start going here. One thing that I pointed out is there's pretty much no slack in the game, so that's not very realistic to say the least, but today we're just playing for fun, so I'll make some observations, but we're gonna keep it light. So like I said, if you haven't seen my review of the physics of this game, go check it out. Even though I was a conductor at the UP, I did run some trains, so I have some experience. I am not going to sit here and claim to be an expert, however, but just wanted to give you guys that knowledge. So not a complete idiot when it comes to this stuff. Been on plenty of trains. You can already tell this train's pretty heavy. That's good. That's what we want. Also, supposed to put the bell on. Don't know where that's at though. I would honk all the way across this crossing, but that'd be pretty annoying. Where's your bell at? I know where they are in real life, but I'm not seeing it on here. Probably looking right at it, just not even seeing it. That sucks. Alright, so we're good for 15 coming out of here, till otherwise posted. Definitely could use some better graphics. I've seen Train Sim 2, looks like they got some pretty cool graphics. But yeah, this game, this is like 2004 status right here, but hey, what are you gonna do? Really like to know where the hell that bell's at. Oh, should be right around here. Come on, guys, you gotta put a bell on her. Still way back by the convention center. Would really like if there's a way to. This isn't a official career mode scenario or scenario in general. I'd really like if there was a way to program oncoming traffic, because this line is single track, and it would be really fun if we had oncoming traffic constantly with the passenger trains. And then even some other freights maybe, because then that would really cause you to have to work, you know, stopping and sidings, all that good stuff. So that would be nice. Now we're overspeeding by a mile an hour, but that ain't no big deal. You're allowed to overspeed up to 5. Ideally, you don't want to do that, but it was common to go 2 over, so no big deal. Definitely a fan of these SD40s. Worked in them quite a bit in the yards, and some GP units on some locals. They're just cooler than the big road units these days, in my opinion. So these things are open at all? Nope. Green both directions, huh? Yep, here's my side. I must say though, the seats in these things are not comfortable. These style seats are great for the lower back, to say the least. Can't tell I'm being sarcastic. Reset sand. Yeah, why the hell isn't there a bell? For those of you that might not know, when we went past that 15 mile an hour speed board, it's like that until our rear end. Well, I'm trying to remember. It might not. In a lot of cases, you have to go that speed until the rear end clears the next speed board. Let's say we get to a 30 mile an hour. Well, I'm stuck doing 15 until the rear end clears the 30 mile an hour speed board, because that 30 mile an hour speed board is for everything on the other side of it. So, yeah, our head in. It's good to go 30 when we hit the 30 speed board, but the rear end still back at the station where it's supposed to be 15. So, that in mind. I'm sure the game probably already does that, factors that in, but just thought I'd mention it. See the airport over there. Losing a little bit of speed, so we'll kick her back up. 90, 90, 139-ish, so that's all good. Oh, I can't wait to get out of this 15. Reminds me of going up the Common Pass at 2 in the morning, doing 15. What a hair-pulling experience it is, guys, when it's dark and you're just grinding uphill for hours. Trying to do everything you can not to fall asleep. Well, looks like I got my wish granted. There's a speed board up here, so hopefully it's more than 15. Yeah, buddy. Let's get after it once our rear end clears that. I'd like to know where our radio's at. Things shouldn't be on the head end without a radio. Sorry if I'm clearing my throat. Got a little bit of a cold at the moment, so you know how that goes. Let's see here. Let me go here. Controller layout. Okay, I don't got that. So let's board. Bell. Somebody show me a bell. D. Haha. Would have thought. Okay, so it is this, but it says ATS reset. What the heck? Well, now we know, fellas. So through that station back there, supposed to have a bell on. So keep that in mind. Passenger stations, you have to alert them in some fashion. So the bell is the rule, I believe. At least it was when I was there. So we're going 3 over, but whatever. Can only fire you at 5, so. We'll keep it going. If you guys got any railroad questions, real life or otherwise, drop them in the comments. I'll answer them. I don't care. Not one of these railroaders that's against rail fans or train enthusiasts or anything like that. I've always been interested in trains myself, so obviously I'm playing this game. But yeah, feel free, man. I don't care. I don't have an ego, think all this and that, or have any grudge with train enthusiasts or rail fans or care. I don't want to make fun of you guys. I don't care to make fun of you guys. You know, I'm one of you. I just did the real thing and that's it, man. Just thought I'd come on here, YouTube a bit. We're trying to grow this channel, so that's it, man. Greatly appreciated if You guys like, comment, share, subscribe, like. I think I said like twice. But yeah, we're just trying to grow this thing, and the bigger we get, the cooler videos we'll make. And if you haven't already seen, I've made some custom maps for Transport Fever 2. Got some free content for trains you can check out on our Facebook. Just going to the photos on our Facebook. We also have a Discord, so hop on and throw in your railroad questions or just hang out, you know? No big deal. So, trying to build a friendly community, you know? I don't just play railroad games, I play some Arma 3, so for those of you that are interested in that, I got my own scenarios for that as well. Alright, we're good for 50, boys. Think this bad boy. Still on a clear. I think this is a silent crossing in real life. Don't want to wake anybody up. Old Town San Diego. Oh, what does this say? Alright, so I guess we're 35 now. Good to know. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the sounds for this locomotive are pretty cheesy. Horn's cheesy. Sounds like the horn that came with, like, in SimWorld 4 or whatever that's called. Even the engine. Is not the best sounding. Anybody ever ridden the what they call it, the red line or whatnot? Is it cool? How far does it go? Put that in the comments. You can see I'm not using a HUD or any information, so I really don't know where the grades are. I'm basically running this thing blind. I just really got to pay attention to my speed, to the speed boards, crossing boards, all that stuff. Alright, we're full throttle. Might have needed another unit or two for this thing, but hey, we'll try to run it. Still on a clear. Probably not going to get any trains coming against us, but we might stop at some sidings just because I want to see how stretch braking works. Stretch braking is when you put on a minimum set on the automatic, so you're putting on a light brakes, and then you're throttling up and down basically, so you're dragging the train behind you and you're controlling up the throttle. So once you get good at stretch braking, it makes it easy to start and stop because you're stretched out, you got the brakes applied, and you're just, if you want to pick up speed, you throttle up. If you want to slow down, you just start throttling off because the brakes are already set. And then when you start, or if you come to a stop and you start to go again, train's already stretched out. So as long as you don't throttle up too quickly, train's not going to break in half. So Oh yeah, just passing old San Diego. One thing I'm not noticing is on the Santa Fe, they're really good at 55. So they're really good at giving you advance warning of the upcoming speeds. So you'll see the yellow signs that kind of look like a downward arrow. That's telling you in advance that there's a speed coming up. And you got about 2 miles to slow down to that speed. Where on the UP, I think it's not even a mile that they give you. So, yeah, kind of frustrating with the UP, but whatever. Santa Fe just seems to do things a lot more common sense. At least they did when I was working for the railroad. It'd be cool to do these kind of runs with a live stream going. I got some pretty poor internet at the moment, but working on getting some better internet, so once that happens, I might have to do that. Then you guys can kind of shoot in your questions, and as we're just kind of slowly rolling along here, I can answer your questions, so it's not so boring. Yeah, it's got a tag on it. Means it's bad ordered. Engine's got all sorts of problems. No radio. Bad ordered switch. Man, what are they doing? Here's my emergency brake. In case that guy over there doesn't do his job. This conductor, I always like trying to pay attention to my train. Looking back, you can spot some smoke or just potential issues. When you have a stacked train, you're kind of looking back to look for leaners, as we call them. Sometimes the the containers are leaning over, and it's okay as long as it's not too much. So down there we got the wonderful spacious restroom. I am a bigger guy, taller guy, so that restroom was not fun to crawl into. Very small. So I think we're coming up on a grade, and be interesting to see how we do, because I'm run 8. We're only up to a little over 35, so not a good sign, but whatever. Alright, so here's what I was telling you about. So in 2 miles we're going to be good for 50. That's basically what that's telling us. Could imagine making a long route like this is quite difficult. That's probably why the graphics suffer. I mean, you can see a fair amount. Moving vehicles. I did a pretty good job of putting in the scenery on the immediate area. So now we're starting to climb up. We're dropping some speed a little bit. Still good for 50. Wonder how many points I'm going to get knocked for overspeeding by a few miles an hour. I guess it don't really matter though. All your different warning devices right there. This thing should be way up here. Way up here. Because we're full throttle, going up a grade. And we got a lot of weight. So that thing should be almost redlining right now. 55. I'm gonna do this route on Amtrak with the Surfliner at some point. Probably come down the other way, heading south. I can already tell that will be interesting because of the speed changes so much. Yeah, we might stall out up here on this hill. That would suck. Hardly even going. $40. 2 miles. Definitely not gonna see any speeds over 40 today. That was kind of the thing sometimes when you got a real heavy slow train that's not powered up. You don't gotta worry about the speeds too much. 'Cause there's just certain speeds that you're just not gonna meet. Alright, so now we're at the 40. So we should be getting close to the meat of the grade. Be interested to see what happens. Luckily we have a pretty good run up to it. We're not starting from a stop. I don't know if I could get this thing rolling again from a stop. That's how it's going right now. Two miles, 20. I need to throttle off a bit. Seems like these signboards aren't at 2 miles. They might just be at a mile. See what this one is. $20? What the heck? Alright, that doesn't seem right. We're gonna overspeed it. Yeah, so I don't even think they're giving us a mile to adjust to the speeds. And this section of track is definitely more than 20 miles an hour, so I don't know what's going on there. It could certainly be 20 miles an hour if you had a Form A restriction. Right now we're back to 30 if you're going out. 55 for straight. Yeah, that's gotta be a boo-boo on their part right there. You get warrants every trip. Get track warrants for each subdivision you'll be traversing. On those warrants, if there's track work being done, you can have Form Bs, which could have speed restrictions. You have Form A's, which there's no track work being done, but it's a section of the track that they deem needs to have a slower speed than normal. So, let's say you're used to going 50 through this section of track. And then all of a sudden, say they see that the ties are worn out or there's some wear and tear on the rail or whatever may be the case, then they adjust it to what speed they think it's good for, and you have to be aware of those things throughout the route. There's usually a lot of Form A's and a few Form B's. Form B's, you gotta get clearance from the employee in charge to come through his zone. That's always fun to spit out on the radio. I'm gonna put some sand on. We start spinning out, you know, in real life, that'd be the end of you, so. I'm sure this game doesn't compensate for accurate sand levels in the locomotive, so we'll just throw the sand on. Yeah, so back here we were good for 40, I believe. And right here we're good for 20. I don't know about that. Curvature is exactly the same. No Form B. Obviously don't have track warrants. So figure that one out, man. Okay. This game's a little glitchy. What was that? I didn't really care to look at it. I probably should have. Probably a speed we will not be attaining, so it doesn't matter. All I know is that up here a little ways we'll go down a pretty steep 3% grade, and interested to see how the downgrade physics are. So see what happens. It'd be nice too if usually have an alerter right around here. Be nice if the alerter would go off kind of like in real life, you know. It's just all these different little things, you know, the bell at stations, the bell at, you're supposed to start ringing the bell at the sign boards for crossings. There's just all these little things that you have to be aware of and you have to take into account, which makes, you know, the boringness not be so bad unless you're going up a grade like here. So you're always thinking of these little things you got to do. Just not at the moment, you know, because we're just climbing up a hill. Yeah, so now we hit a pretty steep section, it seems like. We're slowing on down. Be interesting to come south too on a freight train like this. You got the steep grades and all that, so the grade coming south is steeper than I believe the grade going north. This is where you literally open up a magazine or something. You're just hitting that alerter, grinding uphill. Alright, so we should be getting close to the summit. Nope, still good for 50. I guess we're not. Yeah, so we got our whole trains on the grade. That's why we're slowing down too. Thinking about picking up Train Sim 2. You guys, what do you guys think of that game? Are the physics any different? I know the graphics are way better. I mean, they're to standard of these days, so that's cool. What about the physics? I know Run 8. I've heard a lot about Run 8. Definitely want to pick that up as soon as possible. But, you know, I want to review these popular games as well. Not that Run 8 isn't, but you know, good content. You know, I'm interested to see what these train simulators do. So, Train Sim 2 would be a good game to review. Drop it in there in the comments and tell me what you think. Would really like to see them re-release this route with up-to-date graphics, because it would be a beautiful route, especially when you get on the coast. You know, the ocean, even these areas are pretty nice coming through here in real life, so that'd be nice. Picking up speed a little bit, so we must be off the steep part of the grade. This box right here is perfect footrest. I believe this is the heater. Perfect for putting your feet up, because you're constantly trying to change position. You're sitting in these crappy seats, you know, it's just, they're very uncomfortable. So, yeah. You're in these seats for 12 hours. Not too great. You know, I was kind of talking about earlier, you know, we've got the alerter bell. Another thing too is when you pass oncoming trains, or when you see one approaching, is the nice thing to do is to switch these to dim. So that's another thing, you know. You're checking the gauges, you're watching your speed, you're, you know, doing the bell alerter, and when you got oncoming trains, you don't want to be a jerk. Just put that puppy on dim. So, it's just all these little things you're thinking of. Meanwhile, you're feeling the train. As you feel the train through your seat. When you're starting, stopping, level ground, going uphill, going downhill. You're constantly feeling the train. And you're turning that information until your judgment call, basically. How are you going to run the train based on what you're feeling? That's definitely, that's the biggest thing that, you know, playing a train simulator misses, because obviously it's on a computer, but you know, there's a definite feel, and the way you run the train is based on what you feel through your butt, literally. And that's just not an aspect you're gonna get in these games. Still on a clear, imagine that. So I could tell, I think we're approaching the top of this grade now. Looks like we've hit another kind of steep section going down. Another thing we should have either on top of the speedometer or the radio is a device that shows you if you're dropping speed or picking up speed. 30, which is very helpful, because if you're going down a hill and this thing will say +5, so it means you're going to pick up 5 miles an hour all of a sudden. Then you get start screwing with the controls, trying to get that thing back down. Alright, so we're good for 20 going downhill. So that's good to know. But that device is so helpful when you're going downhill. You just pick up at it and be like, oh man, +5, I gotta do something right now, or else we're gonna pick up speed quick. Or you see -5, oh man, hope we don't stall out, you know. So you can just kind of gauge what's going on with your train. Alright, so almost to the top of the grade. So as we start picking up speed, it's 15 for that turnout. Gotcha. Yeah, we're down to 15 at the moment. See where we're at. Oh yeah, we're still back there a ways. I believe this is a little branch line that just kind of runs out east, not too far. Yeah, those graphics, man, they need to be upgraded. Down to 14. We handled this hill pretty good. I wanted to put as least amount of locomotives as I thought would work as possible, because that's typically how it goes. You're usually doing 14, 15 up a decent grade, and it makes just the overall train handling a little more difficult. You know, you're all powered up and you got a lot of dynamics, a lot of power. It's just easier, so. As we start picking up speed, I'm going to start throttling off. Is what we're doing right now. We're 20 down. Okay. I'm actually going to keep pulling on it. I'm going to give it a little bit of a set. And then we'll see if we can bring this thing down at speed. When I mean at speed, I mean at 20 the whole time. That's the skill right there. Can you run your train at track speed the whole time? On the flats and going downhill. Okay, so this went up. So that's happy to see that, because we were going up a hard grade, which makes the load on this thing a lot more. So we're already on the downgrade. Still run 8, hardly picking up any speed. So this is a good example of how running a train could be tricky, and it's all about judgment, you know, and that's where that feeling the train through your seat comes into play. It's where your past knowledge, past experiences comes into play. So, alright, so I'm going to give it a light set. One thing I don't like about this game is that you don't bail. Oh wow, that's squatting us way down. Can't do that. Those brakes set up very fast. They would not be that fast in real life. Just gonna throw that out there. So, just some more things I'm kind of pointing out on this trip compared to when I did my review. Give it a little lighter set this time. That seemed to do pretty good. We're still moving down a little bit. Keep dragging it. Gets down to 15, I'll knock it off. See how quick they set up? So recovers very quick, sets up very quick, which is not realistic. I could not be doing this on this 3% grade. You'd have a runaway train. Macone Pass, you never release the brakes, the air brakes. because they don't recover quick enough to where you can give it another set. So if you give it too many and you start bogging down like that, you just throttle up and you'll literally drag the train down the pass. So, where are we at? Alright, so we almost got everything on at least flat ground. We've stabilized at, I'll call it 17. See how it's slowly picking up? So since I got a light set on it, all I gotta do is this. Still picking up speed? No problem. This is called stretch braking. Train is nice and stretched out, the brakes are warmed up. All you gotta do is throttle off. Then you can either add a little bit of air if you start picking up speed, or you can go in the dynamics a little bit. So typically we do a minimum set going down the cone pass, stretch it out, drag it over the top of the hill. As we start descending like this, throttle off slowly as we pick up speed. Go in the dynamics. So if you got to like 5, 6 dynamics, then we'd add a little bit more air. And that'd typically do it. And you just kind of regulate the dynamics, trying to keep track speed all the way down. Coming in, coming out. More dynamics, less dynamics. Okay, so we're all on the downhill. Actually, slow me down a bit. You know, this train on this grade, nah. Minimum set probably wouldn't do it. Or at least it would hold us at a speed near our max. Thought a minimum set would at least hold us at 20. And I even got a little bit more than a minimum. What we're gonna do, fellas, this is what you do in this situation. You drag her down the hill. So we want to do speed. We want to get to Commerce as fast as possible, because then we get to go home and sleep. So I'd have to I gotta knock the braking physics on this game a little bit. But it's a game for a reason, guys. I'm still playing this game even though, you know, giving it a bit of a hard time. But, you know, I'm just trying to give you guys an accurate idea of what it's like, you know. So, I mean, I'm in run. Well, it doesn't show me. Run 1-ish. And let's see here, 30. Okay, so when I run clears that, we're good for 30. I'm in run 1 with about what, 8-9 pound set. So I don't know. It's in the ballpark, maybe. Every time you set the automatic, you do have to bail on the independent. That's something that I think is missing in this game, because once again, it's another factor that's keeping you busy, right? If you forget to bail on the independent, oh buddy, you're going to regret it in real life. Independent will set up and cause you some major run-in with the train, because these locomotives will start stopping a lot faster than the rest of the train. So, yeah, something to keep in mind. Coming into Sorrento Valley. I have to do it another one of these times. I'll have to come down that hill and just do dynamics and see what those do. Different ways to do stuff. And it's always good to test all of them. There's no kind of right or wrong way. There's better ways to do things, but you know, as long as you get the train over the road with no issues, it doesn't matter. Hey, a yellow going that way, that ain't realistic. That thing will be red. Come on now. Come on, man. Nice if this thing would like click, 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 click a little better too. 75. Oh, buddy. We clear that thing. We're hauling. I think what I'm going to do, though, is this is a siding up here. I'm going to stop on the other end. I'm going to leave my set on. I'll demonstrate how you can use stretch braking even on flat ground. How nice it would be to be able to see the rear end of your train like this. You know exactly when it passes the speed boards. Oh, the turnout here is 30 miles an hour, but we're going straight, so that doesn't apply to us. What would also be cool about oncoming traffic, like I was talking about earlier, is it'd give you a realistic experience too with the time duration. You know, this could very well take 10 hours to go from San Diego to Commerce, you know. And if you want to simulate a real trip, there you go. You know, only get up to go to the bathroom. Only get up from your computer to go to the bathroom when you're stopped. You know, besides that, you're in the seat, you're doing this. Yeah, you can drink some water, you can eat some food while you're moving. But you gotta be on your toes. You gotta be ready to deal with that stuff coming at you. Whistleboard. So what do we do, fellas? Bell. Alright, we're coming up on a signal. I'm going to stop up here, so we're going to see how quick this puppy will stop. Also, I'm leaving my bell on because there's a station. Gotta have the bell on going through a station. See if we stop. Nope. Yeah. We're pretty much off the grade. That thing would have squatted right down. No problem. We'll try next time. Here we go. Break off. I mean squat down, I mean when you have the brakes on, you're not on a hill, your brakes are warmed up like that, you can throttle off and it'll start coming down because the brakes are already on. They're warm. All you gotta do is just modulate your throttle. So that probably should have stopped. I could have tried to throttle off a little sooner for sure, but I've seen good engineers do that, no problem. Let's take that bell off, huh? We're clear of that station. Yep, definitely don't fit in that siding. Comment in run 8. Can you actually interact with the control stands, or is it just the keyboard? Because I think I've only just seen the keyboard, and I do kind of prefer interacting with the control stands for some reason. So let me know if it's only keys on the keyboard or not. Alright, so next is Del Mar, which is actually a place I've spent a lot of my time growing up. I was at the San Diego County Fair for a month straight back in the day. Family had a business there. They would get a booth at the San Diego County Fair. That's where they sold their products, so we'd stay in Del Mar for about a month every June to July every year for 20 something years. So very familiar with Del Mar and really this kind of whole area. So another reason why I picked this route. It's, you know, brings back good memories, and I'm interested to see what it looks like as well. So does it look like how it actually does, or does it not? I know coming up here there's a pretty steep grade, so we'll see how she does. I think it's a 3%er, but it's not very long. Max brakes. Brakes are off. Max brakes. Max power. Brakes are off. Comment what other routes I could try. I got Sherman Hill, Cone Pass, this one, and Soldier Summit, I believe. Yeah, if there's any other ones, suggest them and I'll check them out. $40. Yep, we're not seeing 40 today, boys. Not even close. I think what I might do next time is these steel cars. Very heavy in this game. So I'm just gonna make a steel coil train. See how heavy of a train I can make. It's one thing I noticed is I custom built this whole train. I custom built the consist. And the weights of the cars are funky in this game. So, you know, like a grain car was very light compared to in real life if it were loaded. Same with a coal car. So, seemed like the steel coil cars were the best thing to use if you wanted a heavy train that wasn't 10,000 feet long. I might just have to do that next time. Got the bays. It looks like it does. Yeah, man, like I said earlier, if they could revamp this route with better graphics for like Train Sim 2 or something like that, oh man, this would be great just to look at. If you're listening, devs, do it. Still 40. So this part of the route, once we get over this hill, is going to be the part where if this game had realistic physics, it would become quite challenging because you're going in between these low spots and these high spots on this route, dipping down to the bays, climbing up through the little hills, and it just does that over and over and over for quite some ways. That's where you get run in, run out, run in, run out. And that's where a good engineer, you wouldn't feel a thing. It'd be smooth, you'd be keeping speed. So if this game had realistic physics, this route would be perfect for trying to master your ability to control the train, keep a smooth ride, keep speed. But unfortunately, it doesn't have run in, it doesn't have run out, it doesn't have slack. So but, you know, it is what it is. It's a game for a reason, but, you know, of the devs at Dovetail, if you ever see this or whatnot, that's something I would try to improve on is your physics. I'm going to have to do some stuff like this on trains, a new era. I'll have to do some runs. And maybe I will choose a single track line and have oncoming trains, you know, so I can kind of show you how busy you could really be. So that'll probably be something I'll do in the future, so keep an eye out for that. Got a lot of things I want to do with Transport Fever 2, this game, trains, Railroads Online, Arma 3. Got a pretty good list of stuff that I would like to do. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. Trying to get this thing going, this channel, and try and just think of better content to give you guys. not here for clickbait. Not here to waste your time. So, subscribe, comment, like, share. Be greatly appreciated. So there was a 35 back there. We're not going to clear that for a while. We're going through the station, so I got the bell on. $20-mile-an-hour turnout. Coming in into Del Mar. Looks very familiar. Definitely miss Del Mar. Great little beach town to hang out. Especially doing it basically grown up my whole life until a few years ago. So, a lot of good memories of Del Mar. A lot of fun, safe area. Generally a good time, man. It was great to be around when I was a kid. This would be the fairgrounds right here. Have to say that does not look very realistic, but hey. Watched trains go over this bridge for years. Horse racing track. The dog beach over here. This is where you get running right here. We're starting to go up the other side, so we're going uphill. The rear of the train is going downhill. The train would catch up to you and it'd hit you pretty good and kick you forward. Kind of like if you were riding a mechanical bull. And so back there what I would have done is as we came down pretty much to that bridge, I would have given it a minimum set, a light set on there. Would have throttled up, stretched it out, drag it all the way up, and as we start coming over this crest right here, then you knock the air off. Keep throttling, throttle off if you need to, and you just kind of keep repeating that as you're going through these dips and rises that you have on this route. I think that was a 30, but what are you gonna do? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throttle this puppy up. See if I can stop up here. I can get a better feel for it. Now this is where knowing your route's important, because I don't exactly know how far up the signals are. Oh, they're right there. I'll give it some more, if it'll do it. Maybe some dynies. See how fast we can get this thing down. If I win the dynies that hard, oh man, it'd be a bad situation. Almost. I thought they were further around. Thought the signals were not that close, but they were. Come on, throttle. Yeah, never go straight into dynamics in real life. Gotta wait. Oh, there are signals up here. Oh boy. Knowing you're out, guys. Knowing you're out. Forty. Yep, don't fit in that siding either. I'd imagine that the BNSF is limited to probably like 5,000 foot trains on this route. I think they've double tracked quite a bit more than what we're seeing. But, yep, you should only build trains as long as your sidings. That'd be the logical thing to do. We're definitely way too big for all these. Comment your favorite railroad and why. If it's the UP, your answer's wrong. Just kidding. Just kidding. Over to the left-hand side is San Alejo Campground. I don't know why there's a trailer park, but it is a campground. Camped there a couple times. Beautiful place. And, yeah, definitely no trailers. I feel like a railroader again. Bored, tired, hungry. and I want the trip to be over. Alright, what do we got coming up here? 65. Up here, we're on a little bit of a grade right here. Nothing serious. These days, there's a nice camera right about here, watching your every move. So nice of them. Spy on you all the time, you know. I guess cameras are just mandatory in every part of life these days. 65. We're going all the way to Commerce. We're not probably even halfway there yet. That's a shame. But, hey, said I would do it, so I'm doing it, boys. Interested to see. I know this game like has some kind of scoring system. Interested to see what I get. I know I've overspeeded, and well, there's that one weird section that was 20. Definitely blew that. And a few times, couple miles an hour over speed in other parts, but no big deal. Bell on. Nice little horn. Man, it would be sweet if you can zoom in like this in real life. Look at all the people. Ah, you just got a phone call. Sorry, bud. There you go. That reminds me. There's a golf course that backs right up to the railroad at the bottom of the Cajon Pass, almost to the 210 junction. The what was it? The 215 210 junction there. Maybe a couple miles north of Baseline in San Bernardino. What do we got here? 75. Yep, not seeing that. So there's this golf course, man, and I would work with a certain engineer, and we had a great time. And this one time we're going past this golf course, and a guy is just about to swing to hit his golf ball, and man, we laid on the horn, and it scared the crap out of him. It was pretty funny. I'm not the type of guy to prank or do that or anything like that, but it was just one of those moments where it was just a tough day, and the guy took it well, so that was cool. Didn't look like he was in any sort of competition or anything, so I don't think we ruined his day, but just kind of funny things like that, you know. Gotta entertain yourself some way. It gets so monotonous at times. Kind of like this. Be neat if an engineer that has done this route before would maybe see this video and share his thoughts in the comments. I mean, the chance of that happening is pretty low, but always interested to hear what these real routes, you know, there's all these little tips and tricks on different parts of a route that you know, we just don't know unless you were to do it in real life yourself. So that would be neat. All right, let's break some FRA rules and go on my cellular device. What do we got going on, boys? Seems like our channel's really picking up some momentum, so just like to thank you guys for first of all watching. Hope I'm not wasting your time. Thank you for liking, commenting, and if you're sharing, that's awesome, man. Like I explained earlier, just trying to pump out some good content. You know, I got a perspective that doesn't seem to be out there on the internet. There's not too many railroaders that I've seen that play these games and kind of walk you through it, or just kind of give their feedback. You know, I've always thought that was fascinating with other YouTube channels, whether it be football players, motocross riders. You know, there's all these kind of channels these days where people kind of, their expertise is in a certain field and they might do something like this, or just kind of explain in depth to fans who follow, you know, what it might entail. Because we're all just kind of fans of the railroad, you know. It's not a sport, but same kind of idea, right? So it'd be cool if, you know, an NFL player played like Madden and then gave you some feedback, like, hey, you know, the physics in this way wouldn't be, this isn't realistic, I think this is pretty realistic, I think the play calls, the different types of plays, you know, all these aspects of, say, Madden NFL, the game, you know, people would watch the heck out of that. So that's what I'm trying to do with this, and I'm always trying to think of different things to do also. I'm not trying to bore you guys. So, yep, just much appreciated for the support. And, yeah. About it. I did not see what that turnout speed board said, but it really wouldn't have mattered. Because these are the types of things that you would know by heart. I mean, you have to take training trips on these routes before you ever run a train over them by yourself, because you have to know these kind of things. I'm doing this route completely blind. I mean, I know the routes from Del Mar-ish to San Diego, maybe even Oceanside to San Diego, but when I mean know the route, I mean the terrain, not the turnouts, not the speeds, not the crossings, not the signals. These are the things that those are the things you gotta know by heart. At one time I had Long Beach to Yuma, Arizona, 288 miles memorized, speeds, turnouts, signals, road crossings, all that stuff, you know. So that give you some perspective. There you go. Bell for the station and a few honks, 'cause whatever. Is there a route map or like a timetable? I wonder. I'm gonna pause really quick. interface. Try that. I want like a view of where I'm at. Nope. Try a 4, huh? Okay, so Carlsbad-ish. What is this? What are these different controls? Head out. Wow, how about that? Interior. Alternate view. Backside. What's this? Tell me! Previous vehicle, uncouple, I'm guessing, or couple. Coupling camera. Yard camera. Free camera. Hey, we're almost up to 50. That's gotta be a record. 2D map. There we go. Wow. We're there. Alright. Alright. Yeah, we got a ways to go, fellas. Oh boy. Let's get rid of this. Alright, I need to look for a speed board. This crossover is 40. Huh? My experience, there's very few crossovers on the BNSF that are not 50 miles an hour. 50 is like their standard, which makes it really easy because you can kind of just assume you don't know where you're at or you forget where you're at, that crossover is good for 50. So, but then again, this is run by Coaster, I believe, so maybe they do things a little differently. I don't know. Anybody know if who's in charge of the track here, whether it's BNSF or Coaster? If you do know, comment below. Yeah, can you imagine programming this route? Jeez. Getting pissed at this game earlier because it was so glitchy, but I guess I get it now. Be interested to know how accurate this route is when it comes to the length. You know, is it the exact mileage? Does it have real mileage? Are the miles real lengths on this game? I think that would be really neat. I think that said 45. But we'll keep going. This isn't my job anymore, and I'm not gonna get decertified for speeding, so sorry, fellas. It's probably this turnout right here. We won't overspeed as much. How about that? Yeah, 40 mile an hour turnout. Nice. Maybe if we had some realistic physics that would cause some issues, then I'd probably be more prone to trying to run this like a real train. He's on his phone. Okay, so we have, hold on. We have a stub track and another stub track and a switch with a stub track. What? Explain that to me. Might as well just not even put it there. Let's get back after it. We got a long ways to go. Oh, 45 turnout here. Right there, we would have gotten some run in. So we went back downhill. Now we're going back uphill. So, but we don't got any slack on this game. Oh yeah. Don't miss this at all. Don't miss it one bit. I mean, running a train's fun. But besides that, no. Being a conductor, it was fun. It's fun when you're on like a local, had a routine. Switching cars is fun, trying to figure out the best way to switch everything. The fewest amount of moves as possible. But, you know, it all gets old after a while. And it all becomes a job. And, oh, look at that crossing. I got up to get some water, so didn't see that. But we'll make up for it, huh? What was I saying? Yeah, just, it all gets old. And, like I've said before, I'm grateful for my time on the railroad. Great experience, wouldn't change a thing. But, it's not easy. Not glorious. Like, you probably think it would be. What the hell is going on? How'd those get on? Or were they even on in the first place? Maybe the last time I made a brake application, they didn't come off all the way. I think this is Oceanside. Everything past this will be, I won't know the train or anything. Hey, is that another train? Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Where have you been all my life? Body armor sports drink. Good source of potassium. 20-mile-an-hour crossover. You kidding me? I feel like some of these speeds aren't exactly correct, but whatever. Just a game, like I've said plenty of times so far this video. Danger, 600 volts. And the posture these people have is just phenomenal. The way they walk. Once again, these are probably silent crossings these days, but we'll give it a go. And once again, a yellow signal as a train just went by. Come on, guys. The little stuff that counts sometimes, you know, the little detail. What people want, they want detail. They want the game to work, they want it to be fun, but they want some detail. So, Train Simulator 2023, I expect some changes, Dovetail. Just saying. Alright, 40. Oceanside. Oceanside's a pretty neat town. Pretty clean. It's got a nice beach. 75. Looks like we'll be turning out. I don't know what the turnout speed is, but we are only gonna probably be doing about 35 when we get to it. So this is where that whole knowing your route thing comes into play. Hey, look at that 30. Sweet. Yeah, not doing 30. Oh, looks like we got a little yard here. Anybody know what this yard is? Just comment that Oceanside yard is blank. What the answer is, if you do know. I heard there's a short line around here. Maybe that's for them, or maybe this was the military interchange for Camp Pendleton. I think that's around here. Comment, subscribe, like, share. And then go watch my other videos, maybe. Just came out with some cool maps for Transport Fever 2, in case you haven't checked those out or seen them. I did the Yuma subdivision, San Bernardino / Colton-ish area, all the way to Yuma, Arizona. Got the Salton Sea, got the old Kaiser Steel Railroad by the Salton Sea that you can cut off and run up to Eagle Mountain where their mine was. You can also run the Calexico subdivision down from Nyland to El Centro. So go check out that route if you're interested. Okay, I think this is the Camp Pendleton cutoff. Yeah, that looks about right. And the other map I came out with is, called it the Salt Lake City Service Unit. because that's what it was called at the time when I was at the Union Pacific Railroad, and what it encompasses is Green River, Wyoming to Ogden. Then you can head south, Salt Lake, Provo, up over Soldier Summit, down into Helper, down into Green River, Utah, and all the way over to Grand Junction. So go check that map out as well. You can make a sweet Rio Grande / UP, because the UP did run from Green River to Ogden way before they ever bought the Rio Grande and the SP and all that good stuff. So you can make a really neat route. I put a lot of work into these maps, so I want them to be legit. And yeah, go check those out, play them, tell me what you think of them. Let your friends know about them, you know. Give those a like on Steam or whatever they do to rank the mods. Be greatly appreciated. You know, I like making this stuff really little for myself, but just because I like sharing it with other people. And I try to provide high quality mods, you know, stuff that maybe aren't developer level, but things that are fun, that are made well. I put a lot of time and effort into all of it because I want it to be good. So go check those out if you haven't seen. Tell me what you think. Alright, so I'm guessing we're coming up on what is the coaster / Metrolink yard that they have down here. I've been past it before. I think this is the 5 freeway right here. I've driven up and down it a couple times. But I guess for gaming reasons, they made it an Amtrak yard. So, yeah, I think this is a manifest yard too right here. For a little short line, but don't quote me on that. I know some things about this route, but not everything, that's for sure. If you do know, like I said, comment. I like learning. I like hearing feedback. And if there's any actual locomotive engineers out there, I'd like to hear your feedback too. Because I'm not, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not claiming to be an expert, I'm not claiming to be an engineer. I have run some trains, but, you know, that's not saying much. I think there's plenty of people out there you could sit in the seat and explain everything to, and they could do a decent job at best. It's nothing that's like insane, like a insane NFL one-handed catch on the sidelines or something like that, you know, like it's not nothing to that degree. So I do my best. I tried to learn as much as I could from the engineers I worked with. You know, the engineers I became friends with, they let me run here and there. And yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Off to the right here, this should be Camp Pendleton, Marine Corps base. It's massive. Like we're gonna crest over and maybe go down a little bit. If any of you guys haven't seen, just came out with Arma 3 mod I made. It's a scenario, and it's based on The Lone Survivor, the movie and the real life event. I should probably start with the real life event. Operation Red Wings. You play as the 4 SEALs. Marcus Luttrell and his other SEAL team guys. Unfortunately, they passed away, so I made a scenario kind of depicting that. And important to note, I didn't make it to glorify it or anything like that. And you know, it was a terrible thing that happened. So I'm not trying to make it seem like it's not, or seem like a joke. But I thought by making that scenario, it could give some people some perspective on what happened that day, since you'd actually be playing as them. And I have all the respect in the world for those guys and what they did and their sacrifice. So if you're into Arma 3, go check that out and tell me what you think. I'm working on a bunch of big mods for that right now. Scenarios and all that good stuff. Well, this section of track seems to be double tracked for some ways, so I was not expecting that. Well, I'm gonna do what every good engineer does in real life, and I'm gonna throttle off a little bit here. I'm gonna tell my conductor to come over here and hit the alerter, and I'm gonna take a piss. I'm gonna be right back. Alright, we're back. We're back. Train's not on the ground, that's good to see, and we're on single track now, so that changed. Where'd that happen? Oh, right at the rear end. What's the turnout? What's the turnout? Ah, 30. Darn. I guarantee you that's more than a 30-mile-an-hour turnout in real life. Sorry it took so long. Had to walk to the second unit. Sometimes a piss turns into a poop, if you know what I'm saying. I worked with a old head engineer Old head means they got seniority, they've been around a while. And old head engineer from the SP, hired out in the 70s, has since retired, and we're out in the middle of the desert going by Glamis, California, heading east towards Yuma. And he told me, he's like, well, I gotta go smoke. Get in the seat. Throttle up every 10 seconds, because we had just gotten going. We were in the siding. Train went past us, and he just started pulling out of it. He's like, get in the seat, throttle up. Get after it. And then he went out, was smoking. You know, I don't want to throttle up too quickly, because in real life, you do that, you break the train in half. I've never touched the controls of a real locomotive in my life at this point. Hence, by the way, I take that back. I think I did once before that, but it was at like 5 miles an hour. But so I'm throttling up really slow, and he walks in. He's like, "What the hell are you doing? Throttle up, chicken shit!" And then walked back out, and so I did what he told me. You gotta love those old guys, whether it be railroaders or whatever, you know, kind of no BS kind of guys that they tell you to do something once and you better do it right. They don't want to repeat themselves, you know. That's something that seems to be lost in modern society, but that's a different conversation. But just a funny story, and something I think back on here and there and just laugh about, you know. Those guys are funny. Old school, hard asses, you know. Definitely no soft men with them. So, good times. Great engineer, by the way. Guy didn't even try, and you never felt any bump, any run in, run out. Always at track speed, and he didn't even try. Man, crazy. The engineers the SP produced, being the SP being the Southern Pacific, which I'm sure you guys are aware of, but great engineers, man. Alright, so where the hell are we? Alright, we're getting there. I think we're about halfway there. Oh, man. Hobart, definitely heard of that. What is this? Metro. Okay, so this is the LA River right here. That's cool. Commerce. Alright, alright. Let's see. These dots. Can you click on these dots? I like how there are some industries, man. You can kind of go back in here if you wanted to. Might have to do that. That gives me some ideas. Do some industry switching or something. Pretty neat. Yeah, look at all of them. That's cool. Might have to do some locals or something, you know. What is that? Mail track. That Union Station back in there? Probably. Alright, I should probably get back to looking at my train. Yeah, I definitely should add another locomotive or two, so I could actually do speed. But, you know, since we're starting San Diego and that hill, I forget what they call that hill coming out of there, then dropping down to Sorrento Valley, I forget what it's called, but just wanted to see Curious to see what the speed was with the train not being powered up. So I think we got down to like 7,000, what was it, 7,200 tons. I think we got like 10,400 horsepower. That might be in the ballpark. I don't know. Okay, so I'm curious. There's appears to be a freeway right here. And there's a freeway up there. What is this? Is this the 5 or is that the 5? Nobody knows. I think I'm gonna drop a clip of Hulk Hogan saying brother a bunch of times, right now.
I'm aware of how destiny is gonna take its course, brother. Brothers, brothers, brother. I'm fighting for life, brother. We've been hanging and banging, brother. 20,000 leagues under the sea is a nice place to deposit somebody, brother. When I set my eyes on you, brother. Brother. They'll be trying to drink their own sweat to survive, brother. Vietnam 20 years ago. Blow my brother's legs off. Brother. I love him like a brother.
What was that speed sign? Yeah. Or 40. 40 mile an hour turnout. Alright. What are we doing? Hey, we're doing 37-ish. We got that turnout, boys. Would be nice to learn this route, like legitimately learn this route. That would be, whew, that would be tough. But learn this route and then actually try to run this train according to the speeds, the turnouts, all that stuff, crossings. Actually try to run this ship like it would be run in real life, like a good engineer would do it. But that would take some time. If that's something you guys would like to see, maybe I'll do it. But I don't know. I might need a lot of views for that one. That would be a lot of time and dedication to learn all this firsthand. So, but it would be a neat concept, you know, because I'm only really interested in playing this game like it's real life, you know, not having this crap up here. To me, it's just, it's fun at first to get to know it or whatnot, but yeah, I don't know. Alright, so I guess this little HUD thing does have some valuable information. We're about a little over 62 miles from Commerce, which, good lord, it's going to be another hour and a half of me running this thing. And then that's estimated time, that's the time of the game. Well, I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. We're going to keep going. Gonna keep on trucking. Definitely would fit in this siding. Seems to be a lot of cool campgrounds in real life on the coast right here. This looks like there's land out there. But there ain't. It's just probably the game wigging out, man. Let's go back on this cellular phone, huh? See what we got going down while we have so much to do on this game, you know? Oh man, people arguing on social media is just so funny. So funny, man. Keyboard warriors. Alright, what do we got here? Yeah, I figured it was going to be another 40. Definitely not doing 40. Oopsies. This was a stub track right here. For what? $60 mph. Well, hey, at least there's a switch going out to it this time. Connects to the main, that's cool. Yeah, I know I've kind of given up on running this train at speed and doing all the proper stuff. And it's really not because I got disinterested in this video, it's just because you know, a lot of these speeds, man, like this coming up right here. So 50 in how long? It's very difficult when you don't know the route memorized, like I've talked about a few times. But also, when those speed boards are clearly not 2 miles away. I mean, I could keep the speed and do the right speeds if I had actual heads up, like in real life. Like, that's not even a mile. That's maybe a half a mile. On the BNSF, man, 2 miles. I could run this train pretty decent not knowing this route with their speeds. They were actually 2 mile warnings. You know, if I had a 2 mile warning like that, I could just pay attention to the speeds and, you know, throttle up, throttle down, blah blah. But just not able to do that. It's something they didn't get right on this route. So it's kind of an iconic part of this route is when it's basically on the beach with these rocks right here. I've seen plenty of videos and I've actually been down to these beaches a few times myself. That's cool. Going north, it'd be good to be a conductor because then you could just have a nice view and look out the window. Or if you're the engineer, going south would be the time. Kind of stargaze, I guess. This should be San Clemente up here. Camped up here some family before. Right up in there. It's a cool campground. Pretty nice area of coast. What kind of videos would you like to see from me with my railroad background? Um, Granted, with the games I have at the moment, comment what you would like to see, guys. I'm interested on what you're looking for, whatever that is. Whether it's just maybe tips, whether maybe it's like a Q&A, question answer, whether it's playing these games firsthand. Let me know what you would like to see. Just whatever you guys want to see, I'll provide. Um, yeah, I enjoy all this, enjoy making this content, and I want to give you guys what you want. So throw in there what you would like to see. We're cooking now. We're keeping it up too. And this horn's atrocious. I don't want to be mean, but man, that's tough to listen to. Once again, these are probably silent road crossings in the real world, but there's a whistle aboard, so we'll honk that horn. Have you guys ever tried to make your own routes on this game? Comment if you have. If you have any videos of your routes, shoot them in our Discord. Goat Radio Gaming's got a Discord, so send them into there. I think I tried to make my own route with this game a while back, but it just seemed way too rudimentary, and it just felt like it was pulling hair trying to make your own route. So yeah, let me know if you have or if you haven't, what your thoughts are on the route builder on this game. Alright, we've dropped a few miles an hour, that's good. One thing I've learned with this session is, although the physics aren't realistic, really at all realistic, I would say, I can still see it being fun trying to run this train and keep the speeds, and yeah, I could see this being really fun for passenger service, which is what I'll probably do next on this game, because these physics are much more applicable to a passenger train, and with all the station stops and all the speed changes and signals, turnouts, all that good stuff, I could see this being really fun and challenging in that way. Trying to get a perfect score, trying to be on time. I could see why you would play it for that 100%. It's something I'll be probably doing here shortly. So yeah, I think passenger service is the way to go for these train simulators. Because really all we're doing is we're running a very slow train with the same physics as a passenger train. That's all I'm doing right now at this freight train. So it would have been much better if I would have just done a passenger train from the get-go, but like I said earlier, I was curious about coming down that grade and what the brakes were like and what I can get away with. So we answered those questions that I had. So happy with that at least. Alright, I think that's at 30, but whatever. Wonder if we'll derail. That'd be cool. Definitely hear it screeching. We're going straight. Can you guys read signals when you have turnouts and stuff like that? You know, if your indication is the top signal head, you're going straight. If it's on the bottom, you're gonna turn out when it comes from one track to two. If you know your signals, comment below. Signals are important. And you know, on a route like this where it's single track, I think that's another aspect of this route in particular that's different than most of these routes on this game is, you know, you got to know your signals when it comes to that, because that turnout speed is not what the track speed is. So right there, you'll lose a bunch of points if you're trying to get a perfect score or something. Oh, yeah. Well, we don't got the nice views of the coast anymore. We're in the thick of it now, boys. Does this game have multiplayer? I don't know, I haven't checked. This is a pretty good size siding right there. You can fit a couple trains in there. Not bad, not bad. Let's see, F4. Ah, we're in a 40. Yeah, we're speeding. Really? No way. Oh, I cut down the time by 7 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. What happens when you speed? I don't know why they're complaining. Just kidding, I know. But hey, I'm just testing to see if this thing will derail like in real life, you know? And so far, no. I'll leave the bell on. It looks like we might have a station up here, and hey, look at that, we do. Interesting how they built a station where it goes to single track. Would have moved that station down a couple 100 feet. What do I know, man? I'm just a ex-railroader that claims to know more than the average rail fan. So, it's not saying much coming from me, I guess. Looks like we're going up a grade. Hey, a 1.2% grade. How about that? Nice. San Juan Capistrano. Driven through here on the 5, never been down in this area to check it out or nothing. No, there's a lot of crossings around here. Is there another road crossing up here? I think there is. Let's see. Nope, it's a bridge. Yeah. Any of you guys played Railroads Online yet? That's probably my favorite railroad game that I've played. Definitely recommend it. I'll be playing more of it. Like I think I mentioned earlier in the video, I kind of got crappy internet right now, so once I get better internet, I think I'll get back into it. That game is a must, in my opinion, when it comes to having multiple people. Running that game solos, it's tough, especially if you play with somebody else. Me and the other half of Goat Radio Gaming have made quite a few videos of playing that game, Railroads Online, so go check that out. We got a playlist of all the different games we play. Yeah, that one and those videos in particular are a lot of fun. A lot of good humor, but definitely would recommend that game. The physics are in the ballpark. You know, switching cars and all that stuff. It's fun. I do a lot of the stuff I used to do in real life on that game. Or let's say a game like this, like you're just kind of driving the train, and it's really not realistic. So it's cool to see the route. You know, I like seeing the routes and all that good stuff. But this game, Railroads Online, man, highly recommend it. The devs are paying attention to what people want, and they're seem to be putting out a lot of effort into improving the game. So definitely would consider it if you got the extra cash, and especially if you can get somebody else to play with you. It's a blast. Lay your own track, transport everything, make money, level up, buy new equipment. Very bare bones at the moment, but I think in time it'll be awesome. So go check that out. And if you want to see how the game is, hey, check out our videos on the game. They'll give you a great idea of what you'll be working with. Alright, what are we on? 1% grade. Yeah, we started slowing down again, so. Avery. Looks like we'll have a turnout there. 0.33 miles. We got another step track here. Seems like there's quite a few tracks along this route that they added. I don't know for scenery purposes, but like these aren't tracks that you typically see on a main line unless they go to a business, industry, whatever you want to call it. You know, like maybe that they were simulating that they're doing track work. Maybe they're trying to double track more of it because they already basically just had a crossover. And that makes no sense. So, an observation. What's your guys' favorite railroad game? Comment that. I'd say Railroads Online, and then the Trains series. Trains A New Era, Trains 12. I haven't played 19 yet. Kind of disappointed at the Trains crew. Oh, I forgot to put on my bell. No. Yeah, get back to Trains. Not a big fan of how they charge you for the download station, and Just all that crap, man. So, yeah. I like the game. I like how much you can build. I've made plenty of my own routes, which are awesome. I actually recreated the entire West Colton classification yard. If you would like that, subscribe. Send me an email. Email can be found on our YouTube channel /about. Send me an email and I'll send you that file. And it should work. I forget what the file type is, but if you drop it down into the download station under the content, it should be fine. I also have a video on the West Colton classification yard that I built on our channel. So if you're curious, check that out. It took me a very long time. I used to work in that yard, so I used a combination of my memory and Google Maps to build it. It's got pretty much every track in the yard. Full-size bowl, you got the hump, the trim, the receiving yard, the departure yard, the engine facilities, both the roundhouse and the maintenance department. So, it's pimp. So go check that out, and if you want it, like I said, subscribe, send me an email, and I'll try to get that to you as soon as I can. Alright, looks like we'll be crossing back over since the green is on the bottom. Be changing tracks. Like we're still climbing up. I didn't realize that this was a grade here. So that's kind of cool to know. And look at that, we're crossing back over. Still 1%, yeah, not bad. These are 40-mile-an-hour crossovers. Now, like I said earlier, if you didn't catch it, the BNSF usually has 50-mile-an-hour crossovers. And I mean usually, I mean like 90-95% of the time on the main line, not turnouts to go in the yards or industries. I'm talking about crossovers on the main line. So I don't know, that's something that they got wrong when they made this route, or maybe because maybe the Metrolink is the one that works on these tracks, and maybe they changed the turnouts, but I suspect that they should be 50 miles an hour. So an observation. If you want to see my some custom locomotives of mine that I made for trains, a new era, or just the train series in general, go to my go to our Facebook, Goat Radio Gaming Facebook, and I got pictures on there. And if you would like some of those too, subscribe, shoot me an email, and I'll try to send those to you as well. So I like providing free stuff like that, and in return, you guys help me grow the channel. I'm happy to do it, you know. Not looking to make money from the content or nothing. So if you help us, we'll help you. Alright, are we going up a steeper grade? No, it's still 1%. Good thing that grade we were on at the beginning wasn't this long. We might have stalled out. Important to note, these older locomotives are just DC units in general. Once you get down to about 8 miles an hour, you run the chance of burning them up like pretty bad. So typically, got down to 8 miles an hour, these DC units, kind of common knowledge that you bring it to a stop, get some helpers, or yeah, you pretty much just have to get some helpers. So, fun fact. Yep, just grinding up a hill. So interesting. Watching the grass grow. What kind of other games are you guys into? You guys into some military stuff? Some strategy? What kind of stuff you guys into? Personally, I like military strategy games. Men of War, it's a great game. Obviously I've mentioned Arma 3. It's more of a simulation, but there's obviously some strategy in that as well, because you can die so easily. Yeah, comment what other stuff you like to play. I'm not one to play fictional games, I guess. My stuff is pretty straightforward. Not like a Fallout a Fallout guy or anything like that, but I understand if you are. The other half of this channel will be getting the new Farm Simulator game coming out here. So keep an eye out for that. He's been deep in the farm sim world for a few years now, so that's something you're interested in. You'll probably be doing some reviews and tutorials on that game as it comes out. So get ready for that. He kind of does some stuff on his end, I do a lot of mine, and then we come together and play on Railroads Online and stuff like that, so it's kind of cool. Got some diversity in our gaming. And we game together here and there, so good deal. La 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 la, still on a 1% grade. Oh wow, it didn't factor in the gradients, I guess. So now the ETA is, oh man, that blows. You'd think you're making me doing something I hate. No, I wanted to see the full route, but maybe a little quicker, but I guess that's why I should have done a passenger train. Lesson learned. Any of you guys trying to actually work for a railroad? My advice would be try to hire out for a big railroad, go through the training, maybe work for half a year, and then try to go to a short line, or maybe even go to a short line after training. You know, it's those short lines like a couple years of experience, like the Genesee in Wyoming. I wouldn't call them a short line, but they own a lot of short lines. Um, they definitely look for more experience. But if you can find an independent short line, um, they might eat you up right away, which is good. So that would be my advice. I wouldn't stick around a Class 1 railroad though for very long, if any time period, because at the end of the day, they can replace you. They don't care. And especially the UP these days, man, their attendance policy is absolutely ridiculous. You can't hardly take any time off when you're new, which you're there to work, but man, you gotta take some time off just to recover. You know, at the end of my stint, they changed the attendance policy to the current one, and I could only take 1 day off, 24 hours off every 3 weeks. You know, and I was working off my rest, and you only get 10 hours of rest as a conductor. So it's just not feasible, and yeah, the money's good, but uh, you gotta have some life. Being on call and all that, yeah, it's fine. But, you know, before this new attendance policy, what I would do is I could take 3 consecutive sick days every 2 weeks. So I'd work 2 weeks straight, take 3 days off. So I got to recover, got to spend time with the family, and I'd go hit it hard again for another 2 weeks. Now it's, you know, 1 day every 3 weeks, and it's just rough, man. If you don't have family leave or anything like that, it's tough. So just a heads up, I don't know what the other railroads are doing these days, but they're all kind of in the same boat, it seems like. Hey, a 0.3% grade, cool. Cool. Looking at my phone right now, and saw someone posted a picture of some SP power that's still out there running around on the UP. The UP 6236. Pretty cool, man. Been 25 years since UP technically bought the SP, and there's still some Southern Pacific stuff out there. That's pretty neat. I saw a decent amount when I was on the UP, which wasn't that long ago. That was cool. But to still be out there, pretty neat, man. Kind of grew up around the SP, so. Alright, we're starting to pick up some speed again, thank God. This unit would probably be overheating if we were at run 8 for this long. Poor guy. Alright, now we're picking up speed. Might as well start kind of paying attention again. Oh. Recording this thing first thing in the morning, so if I sound a little groggy or disinterested, there you go. Just waking up. I wake up early. See, how are we doing now? Oh, we're going down 1.2%. 1.2% grade now. Nice. We'll be picking up some speed once we start cresting some more. You can see there's some dips. It rolls out, another dip. This is where the train handling in real life. This is where you find out if you got a good engineer or not. It's this changing, ever-changing terrain. They try to keep the train under control or not. You could certainly roll through here and not do anything, but then you're going to be getting banged around. Time to heat up some breakfast. Kind of breakfast you guys like? Eggs, cereal, bacon. Personally, I eat some turkey meat, some vegetables, and some brown rice. Much different than most people. But tell you what, it's got a lot of good nutrition. So that's why I like it. And if you're wondering, I am not in the same room as my computer at the moment, so this thing is probably running away on me. But maybe that'll give me a little opportunity to try to get it back under control. Alright, let's see what we're working with here. 60, that ain't bad. Still on double track. Yeah, I didn't know how much of this was double tracked up in here in real life. Pretty significant portion. Still going downhill? Yeah, 1%. 36 miles, baby. Alright, we're coming up on her. Gonna be kind of keeping an eye out on these little spur tracks to these industries. That'd be a sweet scenario if somebody can make it, is you gotta deliver cars to these different industries, and at the meantime there's passenger trains and other freights and stuff you kind of gotta work around, so you gotta be kind of in and out. Gotta be hanging and banging. Hey, a crossing. Holy moly. Almost fell asleep. It's been so boring in the last 20 minutes. Getting up to 70. Uh-huh. That's what I'm talking about. What's your guys' favorite, what would I call this? Maybe favorite kind of a locomotive to catch. Like you see it around, you know, I don't go out and rail fan or anything like that, but you know, if I see like, let's say an old SP unit, yeah, that's cool to me. I grew up around it, like I said earlier. Cool to still see them out there. What's your equivalent to that? Is it an old Santa Fe, BN? Um, you know, what else is out there? Maybe an old Chicago Northwestern. Comment that. Interested to hear what you guys like seeing. That's maybe not that common anymore, or maybe it's a certain model, tunnel motor, SD45, something like that. So drop it in the comments and let me know. I think when it comes to East Coast railroads, Conrail was always cool. I don't think there's any Conrail units left anymore. So so far we've only seen one other train. Kinda lame. But hey, it is what it is. Like I said earlier, it'd be really nice if there was some oncoming traffic. That's a industry track, I guess. There's a couple more. That one actually goes back there a little ways. I think we're going back up. Yep. $30-mile-an-hour crossovers. Yeah, I don't know. Could be. Typically on a fast stretch of track like this too, regardless if this is BNSF still or not, on a fast stretch of track like this where it's straight, those crossovers will be they'll be more than 30 miles an hour, because every time you gotta slow down, then you gotta get all the way through them. You can't pick up speed until you're through the crossovers with the rear of your train. You know, that delays your train, especially when this is more of a passenger route these days. I can imagine that those have to be a little faster than that in real life. Go back there quite a ways. It does. $35 in a short amount of time, so we might want to throttle off. I think 70 is a little ridiculous. I'll start trying a little bit more for you guys. Consecutive crossings, you don't really do the long, short, or the, sorry, the long, long, short, long. It's just not as, not really able to do. It's really just the first one. Like this one, you're able to do the long, long, short, long. Take that off. Now we're in the thick of SoCal. Still overspeeding, but not as ridiculous now. There's some more tracks. Yeah, man, you could do some cool switching. Cool scenarios. Yeah, that ends right there, though. Oh, there's another crossing. Shoot. We're just gonna honk all the way through this one. Yeah, real compliant. Station and a crossing coming up. Try to find some cheaper rental apartments around these parts. Alright, we're down where we should be. Give her some juice. $30. Good lord, we are not doing 30. Sure, most of you have probably stopped watching this video by now, but we're gonna finish this off. Don't you worry. So if you were coming through here, you had what's called a key train, which is a train that especially has a lot of hazmat and dangerous materials. You'd have to go slower than your average freight train or passenger train because they want to limit the risk of derailments within highly populated areas. Because if you derail and you release those dangerous chemicals, that could affect a lot more people than if it were out in the desert. So, let's say the speed through here was 60 miles an hour, but you had a key train. And your key train was good for 60. Well, depending if you're on the UP or the BNSF, I believe. I can't remember exactly, but I think the UP, you have to slow down to 45 in high risk areas with the key train. BNSF, I think it might have been 40. But that's just something you got to think of too, because you can easily forget that you have a key train. And then you're overspeeding. And with something like that, that's grounds for being fired. No problem. If you overspeed on a key train, even on flat ground, not going up or down, that's major implications. If you overspeed on a key train compared to a regular freight, repercussions are definitely going to be more. Look at the peephole. Alright, so approach clear 50, I believe is what that would be on the Union Pacific. I think that's an approach, an advanced approach on the BNSF. Could be wrong. If I am, tell me I'm wrong. And I didn't honk for that crossing. Ha. The fatigue is setting in, brother. So what that signal should have meant is that we're good for 50 miles an hour to go through that crossover. So you have your regular signals, and then you have what you call speed signals, which they tell you that you're going to diverge onto another route, and at the same time it gives you the speed of that diverging route, that turnout, that crossover. You don't see those signals too often, but they are common to an extent. Good lord, there's a lot of crossings. It's a shame that at this point the railroad's so strict when it comes to electronic devices. I had to pack away my cell phone turned off in my backpack. You could take it out while you were stopped and use it, as long as there wasn't an oncoming train. But it would have been really nice to have like a GoPro or something along that sort, you know. You can click it right here, or you could kind of put it in a corner so you could see the controls or whatnot. But then you could, you know, potentially explain this stuff while actually doing it. You know, that would be epic to do for a YouTube channel. You know, especially all the things that you see. Every train's different. I mean, you're constantly dealing with, at least in Southern California, I mean, you're dealing with civilians, right? People walking too close to the tracks. Some people might be suicidal, and unfortunately, that's a thing that happens. Vehicles that you're nearly hitting, you know, you're just constantly seeing stuff and having weird stuff happen, it seems like. And, you know, it'd be like the ultimate dash cam footage that you'll see on YouTube, like the Russian dash cam footages that are out there. So, is that the Anaheim Angels Stadium over there? Yeah, it is. Not a baseball fan, but been there plenty of times to watch Supercross, which is indoor motocross racing. Yep, that's it. Used to go there every January basically and watch the Supercross races. That's how I got into YouTube, as I started a motocross highlights channel, which is called WD840MX Highlights. So if you're into motocross, go check that out. Oh, what was the speed around here? Get lost in thought sometimes. 50. I'll buy that. And we're almost at 50. It must be going downhill right now. No, pretty much flat. Missed that one too. Yep. Like there's some more tracks going off to the left. I'm telling you, if some of you guys are really good at creating scenarios on this game, Even if you just drop cars off at the end of a track or something, you know. Make a scenario where you could switch out cars. Take the main line down, switch out cars. You got to deal with traffic, rail traffic that is. That would be fun. And if there is multiplayer on this game, then maybe it could be kind of like a Railroads Online where you got an engineer conductor situation. That would be really neat. So now we're in a silent zone. I just woke a bunch of people up. Darn. So in the silent zone, you're supposed to put the bell on. No horn unless there is people that you need to warn. Like they look like they're not getting off the tracks, or that they're close. You know, any reason to where they need to be warned that the train is coming. I mean, they should obviously know a train's coming, but some people are very observant out there. So. And we are picking up speed. Let's try the Dynies. It's one thing I haven't done. I go to idle first. Yeah, the car was a little too close. Just had to make sure, you know. Dynies are kicking in pretty good. Should be like run one. I'll get back down. This is a good example of what could happen if you're not paying attention. So at this point, you know, I'm just checking out the route. Just trying to comment on things that I'm seeing. Things about the game. And very easy to kind of zone out, you know. I'm zoning out a bit when I'm talking to you guys. And you can see we quickly went from, you know, 45, 50 all the way up to 65. And that's as fast as it can actually happen. So gotta be on your toes when you're running, man. Get away from you in a hurry. Real fast. Getting my food, so I'm not paying attention again. I'm hungry. Alright, what we got going on here? Yeah, I've gone pretty sloppy. But this is my first time really playing this game. All the other times I'd play it and I'd just be like, something about it would just kind of turn me off. I did the review, just go check that out on if the physics are realistic on this game or not, but besides that review, I haven't really played this game and that much at all, man. But now we're YouTube, and that looks like that branch goes down a ways. So you guys tuning in these videos, helping grow the channel, is helping me get interested in these games again. So thank you for that. Other one goes down there. Alright, so this should be a 50. Now, let's test it, okay? We got a advanced approach, which I believe is what it is on the BNSF. So this turnout should be good for 50. See what the signboard says up here. this one 30, so we're not coming off on that one. But even though, why are you giving us a signal that says that we're good for 50? Little things like that, guys. Little things like that. If I saw that signal and I wasn't paying attention to the speed board, or I didn't know that by heart, then I would have blown right through that. Yeah. How you feeling? It's part of it. Just had my guest, I'll say, wake up, so I was talking to them a little bit, so you'll hear that, but no big deal. They're also a little sick with the cold, so what you gonna do? Well, it's a good thing that I haven't really been doing anything, because we're going through that turnout at the correct speed, which is not 50 miles an hour like the signal indicated. So, good thing. Good team. This is where it gets a little confusing. I want to make sure that you're looking at the right signals, especially when you get these pot signals off to the right or the left. In these situations, it's very easy to get them wrong. And to get these certified, because you went through a red signal because you thought you were looking at something else. Oh yeah, nose blowing. Yeehaw. We're gonna pick it up a little bit, even though we're not supposed to. How far away are we? 16 miles. Okay, I can live with that. Guess we're good for 79 now. What? What? When did this happen? Wow. Okay. So, all of a sudden, we're running light power. I did not change anything. I have overspeeded a lot. Okay, so my guess is theoretically the train broke in half. That's scenario number one. Okay. The train broke in half. It would have dumped all the air and we would have gone into emergency. And we would have known that we got into emergency immediately. Okay. Scenario number two. Because of the overspeed, there was a derailment in the train. Which, the same thing would happen. We would have gone to emergency immediately. So to me, that is a huge flaw in this game. Huge. The fact that we're not in emergency, there's nothing, not even on this HUD, that tells me that we lost the rest of the train. There was no bump, no sound, no crash, no bang, no brake application, no, let's say, mission failure. I mean, come on, man. These are the things why I get turned off by some of these games, is because that is clear as day. That should be in the game, programmed in the game, and we're just rolling. And I don't think I've checked the train since like San Clemente. So for all I know, we've been rolling light power since then. You know? And that's pathetic. That is pathetic. So I don't know what more to say. I really don't. All I know is that we got 13 miles left, and we're gonna finish this thing off real quick, because I said I would. But that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Still got 90 on there. No warnings. Wow. I don't want to sound mean or harsh, but Dovetail, you really need to step it up, man. It's a must. What do you guys think of that? I mean, very basic stuff right there, you know. Really basic. I might have to test that on trains. With the Z. Does it put the train in emergency or not? If you're gonna have air brakes, you gotta have some protocol or programming, or however you code this, where if there's a train separation caused by derailment or breaking the train in half, that it goes into emergency. I mean, that's basic stuff right there. So, if that doesn't tell you guys how realistic this game is, and you know, I don't know what will. I mean, I get if you still played this game, I still want to do the passenger and stuff, but man, that was bad. Like a little manifest yard for switching. Yeah, it's tough seeing these type of things because you know, I'm pretty reasonable. I don't expect great things out of these games. You know, I get that they're games, and a lot of people just run these because they want to see the real routes, you know, or the passenger service. Totally get that. But it's like just basic stuff. Just basic stuff. They don't seem to get it. So hopefully in the future they do some research, or maybe they consult somebody like myself who used to work for the railroad to try to get these things right, you know, at least in the ballpark. Because I guarantee you that the railroad community will appreciate it so much more if you do. And you'll get praises from people like me, who some people watch these reviews, you know, to see what they're really like, what these games are really like. So That's the next step for Dovetail, is they really need to revamp their physics. That would be number one on the priority list if I were them. So, take it how you want. Nine miles, we're almost there. Pick her back up, huh? The game's not gonna have somewhat realistic stuff. I'm not gonna run this train somewhat realistic. So let's boogie. Coming in hot. 7 miles. Well, I must say though, was pretty hard on this game and through this episode, but I do like the route. You know, it's got some good detail. Definitely use, you know, a lot better graphics. I think they could definitely do their homework on some of these turnouts. But besides that, the route itself is pretty cool. Better graphics in the turnout speeds. Well, and those few sections where it was like 20 miles an hour for like 300 yards, that was pretty weird. But they can clean this route up pretty easy, make it enjoyable. And on top of that, they can change the physics just a little bit more realistic. Some improvements. You know, they could have something here. You know, they can have something here. So, will they do it? I don't know. I can hope. Maybe 2023 that game will be a little better. Who knows? It's all constructive criticism. Yeah, under 5 miles. Here we go, buddy. Almost there. Alright. Is it good for 50? Not on that one. It's going to be the next one. Better graphics would be nice so I could see the speed signs. Say 35. Well, we're passenger speed now, if that means anything. Because we're light power, because the rest of our train does not exist. Alright, what is this? 30. That's awesome. That's awesome. Did I lose the other engine? Nope. Still there. Well, not sure what else to say at this point, except that we're almost done. And I'm happy about that. Alright guys, well this is the end of this episode. I learned a lot more about this game. Learned a lot more how it's not realistic, and it can be quite irritating, but besides the point, I'd like to see a lot of changes made. And, you know, hopefully this might cause them to reassess this game and make those changes, but yeah, time will tell, you know. And I think this is a great game for passenger service. Like I've said a few times, when it comes to freight, they need some tweaking to do, no doubt about that. So, like, subscribe, comment, share. Give me your thoughts, what you thought about this video. Hopefully it wasn't a waste of your time. And as we close in here, we will see ya next time.